All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Going to go to Dave Pass here in just a moment. 9 a.m. hour number 3 underway. First, Greg, tell our listeners about
Canty Foundation specialists have done a great job in this community for a while now, and we're glad to have them on board. It's awesome. They're the local experts, crawl space, basement, and concrete solutions. Here in Alabama, there's so many factors that can lead to foundation issues with your home. The soil, shifting, uneven ground, moisture, weather, lots more, including just the age of your home. So if you're acknowledging maybe some standing water around the foundation or in your basement, there's moisture, musty smells, wood rot in the crawl space, chimneys or porches that are kind of pulling away from the home, or concrete sinking on driveways, inspections and estimates so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house and their work is backed warranty. Call them today at 205-509-3991, or you can go to cantycanfixit.com, A-N-T-E-Y, canfixit.com.
Let's go to the Higginbotham hotline now. Welcome in Dave Pash. And Dave, I'm just interested what you got to believe the quarterback situation was going to be going into that game for us a week ago.
First of all, I was doing well until Greg just read that. Now I've got to go check every inch of my house.
You are.
Just go.
Are they Phoenix and take with the house?
You need just to sleep.
We were our conversation, Charlie and Simmons, Chambliss, to the game that, and then they had to play walk. Hopeful that he's comfortable with Chambliss, kind of their how good he obviously is in practice. Dynamic run. It's great. And I think Ole Miss is a quarterback.
And seeing quarterback and Taylor, what'd you see from that?
It's clearly lost. And for the Panthers, good players in the SEC. Some weapons on.
Did you guys anticipate what you got from Arkansas? I mean, obviously, it was a lot of Taylor Green, but I came away feeling a little better about the receivers. I thought the offensive line was better than they had been in some of their other games this year. What were you anticipating from that group versus what you actually saw?
Well, talking with Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino, they were much higher on the offensive line than maybe the tape and the replay of the game would indicate. And I did think they played well. I wonder how much of that is, is Ole Miss's front not as good as it was last year, and that's part of what we saw. Taylor Green is clearly a talented guy. He still does some things that make you wonder, is he ready to take that next step and be, one of the elite quarterbacks in the country in a first-round pick? It's kind of like Lenore Sellers. There's times you watch him and you're like, yeah, this guy's great, and then he'll do some things and you're like, huh. Not that there are guys in the NFL that still do that, but I thought that was going to be a breakout game for him, and it was close to that. It was kind of anticlimactic. He leads him down the field, and then you get the 2-minute timeout. You come right back from the 2-minute timeout. Looks like they might score or win the game, and they fumble the ball and turn it over. But he got them in position, and Bobby Petrino's got a great reputation of developing quarterbacks. there's no question Lamar Jackson is not the player he is now without working under Petrino and with him. And their receivers are better. Their run game is better. Mike Washington is very good, but it's still about Taylor Green to me.
He's something else, man. Like, the guy is just an absolute monster. I was talking to a scout last week. He goes, I don't know exactly what the long term will look like with him at quarterback, but he's getting drafted and he'll get drafted high just on the skill set. Like, we'll find a place for him type of guy. He's that real.
Yeah.
You're prepping for a big game this weekend, Missouri and South Carolina. And we're all curious to know what's going to happen with Lenore Sellers. But before we get to that, I want to ask you more about what you've seen from Missouri up to this point and how real you think this team is kind of across the board.
I don't know. Kansas is the best team they've played by far. Louisiana's had no shot. I mean, they just absolutely destroyed them right from the start. Ahmad Hardy, the offensive line, the way they're playing, Prebula looks good so far. The addition of Kevin Coleman Jr., that might be one of the better moves by anybody in the SEC this offseason. He was really good at Mississippi State, but he's just absolutely been dominant this year. 74 catches last year. He's already got, 24 this year. Defensively, I'm still curious. They've been really good so far, 4 passing yards last week against Louisiana. How will it look if Lenore Sellers plays? Their weapons for South Carolina probably aren't what they were last year, but if Sellers is good to go, we don't know that yet. They still got to contend with him. Are they ready for that? Are they good enough for that? That to me is the question mark. I think offensively they're really good.
Dave, we were talking yesterday, just kind of big picture college football teams that maybe have exceeded expectations that we feel great about, not good about, great about. And then we talked best team in the country. Who might that be? Are there any teams that you feel like you've seen are separating or have separated from where you thought they were going to be heading into this season?
Well, we had Illinois a couple weeks ago. I think they're a real contender in the Big Ten. I do. I think they've got everything you look for to beat a team like Ohio State or Penn State or Oregon. I know that's a tall ask. Not saying it's going to happen, but I would say that's a team that has surprised me. Now, Duke then lost to Tulane, so Duke maybe isn't as good, and Tulane's good, and I know you guys had Summerall on earlier. Duke clearly isn't as good as they were last year, which is surprising. With Darian Mensah, I thought they'd be better, but Illinois in the second half pulled away. Duke couldn't stop them, and their schedule is pretty favorable, Illinois. So that's a team that at least I've seen in person that I really think can contend for a Big Ten championship. I saw Iowa State in Ireland. I would say, to me, they're the clear favorite in the Big 12. Haven't seen Texas Tech or Utah other than highlights yet. In the SEC, LSU is really interesting because their defense is so good. They have the fewest points scored in the league. They've scored 60 points. So, Greg, you've had them. I don't know if that's reason for concern or not because their defense is so good. But obviously next week at Ole Miss, if the offense continues to play like this for the Rebels, they're going to have to score some points to win that game in Oxford.
It's going to be an awesome game next week. Looking forward to it for sure. As you evaluate South Carolina, I know a lot will hinge on the health of Lenore Sellers. Let's just operate under the assumption of him being out there and then conversely him not being out there. How much more human does it become with his absence? What did you see from last week versus when he was on the field for the Gamecocks versus when he was off?
It's drastic, Greg. They were in the game. They actually were playing pretty well at the end of the second quarter when he got hurt. It's 14-7, and he gets hurt. And just watching the offensive line react, you could just tell what he means to that team, not just as a player, but clearly his leadership and what the guys think of him. You played the position, Greg, and Cole, you played O-line. I'm sure there's times guys get hurt and you're upset, but it's not as deflating because you've got a good backup or you've got really good weapons around him. The way they reacted to me said a lot. And then just watching them play. Luke Doty is a guy that's been around. He's bounced around from position to position, wide receiver and quarterback. They have two young guys. Do they dare throw one of those guys out there on the road? I doubt it. I think it would be Doty, probably for the whole game. But it is I mean, without Lenore Sellers, I don't know how they can win. Their defense isn't as good as it was last year. They're struggling to run the ball. That's the thing. Even with Sellers, they got to find a way to run the ball. I mean, Ahmad Hardy has more yards rushing after contact than South Carolina has as a team. Now, South Carolina's schedule has been more challenging than Missouri's, but still, that's a problem. It can't just be Lenore Sellers, and his rushing attempts are down. But they're going to run him. You know, he ran it 14 times a game last year. It's around 8 or 9 this year, although it's a little misleading because he got hurt and didn't play the second half. But it can't just be him in the run game. You've got to find a way to get Faison and Attaway going, and you know that offensive line has to be better.
I don't think there's any doubt. Cards trying to find a way to move into the NFC South.
Tell you what, they'd have a better chance of making the playoffs if they did. The NFC West is ridiculous right now. But 2-0, we'll take it. It was not easy last week. They almost coughed that one up, but we'll see. They're in Santa Clara this week, so a real test against the 49ers.
Absolutely. Dave, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate you hopping on. Look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. You got it, fellas. Take care.
There you go. Dave Pass of ESPN, also does Cardinals radio, play-by-play there, joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. The injury thing, Austin Simmons, Greg.
Yeah.
What Dave Pass just told us. And
yes.
Then he wasn't on the availability report, but said that he wasn't 100%. Eli Drinkowitz was asked about injury reports or availability reports yesterday.
Availability reports.
An injury report based on last week. Yeah.
What I'm asking is that working, and are those a thing you guys pay attention to during the weeks?
I'm not going to step into Wayne's business here, so I'm not going in there.
Not specifically him, just
so I feel like we all know where he took that.
Yes.
And those two are friends, by the way. If you're wondering, I don't think that there's like hatred there or anything.
No,
just like a little bit of fun, which they both enjoy having. But funny nonetheless, because he wasn't on it, and then doesn't start, and then absolutely, as Dave Pash described, looked like he could barely move when he did get in the game.
Correct. I think anybody that watched the previous week probably knew that it was highly unlikely that Austin Simmons was going to be able to go. Just being honest, like I watched that hit where he rolled up on his left ankle, watched how little weight he was able to put on it, how noticeable the limp was on the sideline, and just knowing the nature of ankle injuries and or left leg, lower leg injuries, like they're not often ready to rock and roll within
Couple days.
A day or two.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No, it's not when you have an experienced back.
Okay, Will has been on hold. Wanted to go back to our talk on expectations with college football teams. What's on your mind, Will?
Well, first of all, you guys, I know a lot of people don't say it on here, but y'all guys have been killing it on TV, man. Y'all both do a fantastic job. And there's a lot of people I could care less to listen to. A lot of times I just turn it down, but you guys are killing it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries. The expectation for Alabama fans it's never going to be the same. I don't think anybody will ever have another dynasty. I don't think that happens again. Just with the parity in college football, it doesn't happen again. But I did have a question for both you guys. You probably watch more Alabama and Auburn tape and games than most. Alabama has, what I've seen, has run the ball outside the tackles like 6 times in 3. That's a lineman, O-line issue, or if that's just a play calling thing or what. But 2 of those times, one time it was Jeremy in the backfield, and the other one was on a sweep with Jeremy. Zone runs and stuff where he ends up cutting it up. just inside the tight end and stuff like that. I was just going to get you guys' take on that, on like why no outside runs from the running backs.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I haven't focused in on that part of it just yet, as far as their runs and what they've done, and maybe if they have tried to go outside and it hasn't worked. Keep in mind, and we've talked about this multiple times on the show, specifically with the people who are mad about not running the ball after this last win. There is a lot of extension from the run game and the passing game in this offense. That's why if you're going to play running back in this offense, you have to be able to catch the football.
Yes.
It's going to be there. And not just running back. As you mentioned, Bernard has come out of the backfield. They're going to line different people up back there. Some of the throws and the quick game that they utilize, extensions of the run game. So it's just a part of how they operate inside this offense, G-Mac.
Yeah, and if you really look at this team, a lot of the strengths lie at the wide receiver position, right? And a lot of what we view as, quote, traditional outside the tackle runs are now bubble screens.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like a bubble screen to Ryan Williams or to Jeremy Bernard is the equivalent of a toss sweep. Like in my day, that's a toss sweep to Ingram or
Gotcha.
T. Rich.
Yeah.
Another thing, jet sweeps. Jet sweep. Perimeter run goes on the board as a pass. Give you a little easy completion. Love that. Also perimeter run. So when you view it through the lens of they're not trying perimeter runs, well, it's because you can cut the defense in half by having the jet sweep action and by having the bubble screens married with a vertical north-south run. So just holistically, we're not seeing as many teams go to the perimeter anymore because they have other ways of attacking that part of the field. Make sense?
Yeah. That brings me to something that I'm not seeing in college football that I wanted to ask you about. We got to get to a break. We'll do it on the other side. But I have a question about something that has been around for a while and I do not think is being taken advantage of. And I want to see you from a quarterback lens can explain it to me and why it's not happening anymore. Before we do that, though, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Fu and his guys have stockpiled a ton of inventory. And now, as a result of that inventory, they want to pass some savings on to you. They have 50,000 square feet of premium CoreTech flooring that is currently in stock right now. That's massive. Fu is doing it again. That CoreTech flooring is extremely durable. It's sustainable. It is weatherproof, waterproof, you name it. It has a 20 mil wear layer, which is built to last and price the CoreTech that Fu has. And right now, he is going to give you some savings of 20 to 40% on that CoreTech. That anywhere else. So remember Shannara Flooring. When you want CoreTech, call Fu at Shannara Flooring, 206-6423, or go online to fuandu.com.
Is there a play out there that offenses could have success with but are just not taking advantage of? We'll just next right here on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning with the feedback via Twitter, text, phones. Our topic of will you be able to adjust your mindset, your thought seasons, winning seasons, being as good, better, not as good as prior. It's a fun one. But I have a question for you, Greg. Referencing offenses right now in college football, Roman picked a couple of plays from the LSU defense that he was going to talk about Monday on Read and React.
Yeah.
Two of the plays didn't have really anything to do with the Florida offense at all.
Yes.
Just things that he liked about what LSU did to be able to find some success. And they were perfect. They were good things. But two of the times I had to stop him and I rewound it back and I said, someone needs to explain to me why we refuse to take uncovereds in college football anymore. Because there were two slot receivers, two different times with about a 15-yard cushion. And it wasn't 3rd and 80. One was 3rd and manageable. One was like 2nd and 10. I'm like, so you're telling me that all you got to do is make a 90 check, offensive line blocks, wide zone, and you catch the ball, turn, throw to a receiver that doesn't have anybody within the next receiver out, had a guy about 8 yards off the ball. I have confidence that he can at least get in front of him and attempt to make a block. So we catch ball, move forward. Even if our momentum takes us a little bit of time to get going north and south, worst case scenario, we're getting 2-3 yards.
Yeah.
And I see this all over the place. Why do we refuse to take these? Why do we not want to throw these anymore? Is it not cool enough?
I don't know if it's that. I think coaches are kind of in control and frankly, just quote, playing football is not a priority anymore. Like it's systems, it's very like linear, it's very rule based. Like just playing ball is like letting common sense override the rule. We talk about it all the time in protection. Why is this guy sliding left when there's a head up 3 technique? Oh, okay, so we're in a 2-jet. I got right guard all the way through left tackle or sliding left. Backs responsible for Mike and Sam. Cool. Sounds good. There's a 3 technique. Lined up, headed outside. Actually, you know what? Let's just say he's in a 4-eye and he's inside edge of the right tackle. That right guard's going to leave him because the rule says slide left. Why do we do that? Because that's when I look at the page of my actual protection, it shows me with the blocking tee going to the left. I got to go left. As opposed to like, I don't know, hang for a half second. There's no one in the gap inside of me. There's no one in the A gap left. Let's just slide it left. Yep. It blows my mind. Like we just don't play football anymore. Like you got a guy on cover, take it. Like another thing too, like
catch, turn, throw. It's
100%.
That easy.
And guess what? It's not just on uncovereds. Like I watched the Texas game this past week, and there's a 4th and 2. Arch ends up throwing, I believe it was a pick. They go with a very simple play called Q9 or sprint left option. Very simple play. It's 5. It's like 3-4 yards by the wide receiver straight up. Looks like an option, then breaks it to the out. You sometimes get a little rub. You sometimes get a little pick. But it's honestly, if you throw it on time, it cannot be covered. It is the exact same play that LSU ran to beat Bama in Brian Kelly's first year. Sprint right option. This is sprint left option. Same play. Same exact play that Dabo Swinney and Clemson ran in 2016 to Hunter Renfrow to beat Bama in the national championship. Same play, ironically, that the San Francisco 49ers ran when Dwight Clark made the catch. Because for the first time in the history of football, the option route was covered. So Joe Montana retreats, buys time, and throws it back of the end zone, and Dwight Clark goes up and makes the catch. Like, it's a play that's been run 1 million times by West Coast offenses, and it probably has a 95% completion rate, unless the quarterback throws a bad ball. And Arch is rolling to his left, guy's wide open, doesn't throw it. Doesn't see it, doesn't throw it.
Yeah.
Retreats backwards, throws a pick over the middle, like whatever it is. It's like we no longer just take completions. We're always going for the jugular. Because when we take completions, a la Nussmeier, you get criticized. It's kind of amazing. to me.
I feel like there's a little bit of that in Ty Simpson since the Florida State game. Now, he's had some of the downfield throws too, but there have been a lot of simpler throws, more high percentage throws that he's just taking, and I think that helps open everything else up. That helps you get to those points of some of the ones you're describing that people want all the time. It just might not be there. And it goes back to your comparison to slide protection is interesting because it's, the way that I always reference that is these guys are so robotic now that, okay, you coach me to do this, coach, so I'm just going to do that. Instead of, I was trying to explain this to my wife on the way home last night because she went with me to a speaking engagement. She was asking me some football questions. And I said that this is one of the things that, and this goes with our conversation from earlier today. When you get these guys for one off season, what are they not doing? They're not learning conceptual football. They're relearning your system. They're relearning or learning for the first time, your verbiage or how you want things done or how you want the step to go on outside zone or how you want the hat placement to be when you're blocking back or what your point linebacker is going to be, where your hot side starts and protect. You got to learn all that stuff. And when you do that, you're not learning conceptual football.
Yes.
Because conceptual football comes later. Once you've mastered what you do and the guys next to you do, and from your perspective as a quarterback, what everybody's doing,
correct.
Then you can start saying, all right, well, now let's look at like corner leverage or foot placement or trends or why they do the little things begin to come and conceptually you understand, oh, that's why the safety's playing down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the corner's giving up outside leverage because he's got that help there. Got it. Okay. That's not coached in round one because you got to know round one stuff first.
Yep.
And that conceptual football is a big thing that I think is being held back with a lot of the player movement because it's a lot of CYA. We gotta handle our stuff now.
Yes.
We'll get to their stuff later. But we gotta handle us first. It all goes hand in hand. It's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, it all goes hand in hand. You got to know the bigger picture. Like situational awareness, I feel like in football is down. Partly because I think we've talked about this a million times. How many guys are sitting there watching every second of the Thursday night game, every second of the Friday night game, all day on Saturday watching ball, and all day on Sunday watching ball and then watching Monday Night Football? How many guys are doing that? Actually, listening to Kalen DeBoer the other day at Monday Morning Quarterback Club, he said one of the questions was, what's the plan for the team this week during the bye week? He said, well, we're going to give him 2 days off. I believe in giving him 2 days off. So Monday, Tuesday will be off. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll do some workouts. We'll get a head start on Georgia. And then Saturday, they're off. I want them to watch football. I told him, you have one homework assignment. That's to watch games all day as a fan.
It's great. I love that.
It's amazing. But guys need to watch football because then if you're Florida and DJ Lagway's sitting there with 2 minutes left on the clock, and you just need one first down to win the game against USF, you don't throw an RPO out to the field knowing that an incompletion could stop the clock and preserve crucial and critical time for USF to mount a comeback. You don't do that. And look, he's a young player. I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying situational awareness knows hand it off there, right? So I think that we don't have as much of that. And guys are so focused on the play and not the bigger picture from time to time.
I'll go a little bit further, and I'll go back to Greg and Russellville's call earlier in the show, which we had some fun with him, but I think it was a good call. You think about the way, and you have boys that are becoming this age now as well, as do I, the way that they formulate favorite players now. It's not because they watch all their games. Most kids' favorite players are highlight reel guys.
Correct.
And it's one of the reasons, I can't do it as much with football because I'm not home as often, but it's one of the reasons that when we're playing in the backyard or different things, I'll put a baseball game on the TV out there because I want them to just in between doing stuff just watch the game. You need to watch games. You need to see how guys operate, see what guys do. You need to understand situational moments of just how to be better. And I just want them to watch. And it's all based on highlights. And I think that's why collectively there's only 2 or 3 guys that a lot of kids like in each sport now.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the utility. These kids today, they don't see the Scottie Pippins.
They don't like Brett Gardner.
I think about when I was growing up, we didn't just like to watch Walter Payton. Like, we like to watch Jim McMahon and William Perry and Mike Singletary and Willie Gault. Like, you knew all the guys on the team, and you like to watch them. Now it's just like, it's Patrick Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
Like, how many kids are out there right now, if they said their favorite player is Patrick Mahomes, they would know who Chris Jones is?
None.
That dude's fun to watch, though.
What about Creed Humphrey?
Trey Smith.
No one's watching that.
My kid all the time, my 8-year-old, he says, "What's your favorite player's name again, Dad?" And I said, "There's two." He goes, "I know, but I don't know their names." Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What are the linemen? I was like, "That's them. Yeah, you should be watching them too."
Yes.
But I know you won't. It's okay. Carden has a question about plays in college football. Welcome into the show, Carden.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. I've got a question about what do you see from Oklahoma's offense that Auburn is going to struggle with, because we've seen Auburn struggle in the secondary. Y'all see stuff that I don't even know what to look for. I'm not going to pretend I do. So I'll hang up and listen. I'm just curious of what their offense presents that you see that Auburn could struggle with this weekend.
It's a good question. And you actually brought it up, Carden. My biggest concern in this game has shifted greatly over the last 48 hours of watching more Auburn defense. Number one, I would call counter at least 20 times in this game. And I would have my second blocker vary and be different all the time. Whether it be fullback, a tight end lined up different places, a tackle, however you needed to do it, I would run every variation of counter that we had, a lot. But my biggest concern now, Greg, is coverage.
Yeah.
I don't think in the Baylor game, it's not just the Baylor game, because that was a little bit of a matchup, and I think the situation of the game later allowed for some things. There are some problems on the perimeter with just staying with guys. And actually, I think a lot of it is technique and fundamentals. If you watch the feet of the guys who get beat, they're in bad positions. They're taking bad steps. They're not flipping their hips at the right times. And I don't know a ton about DB play, but even I can see it. And when I can see it, it ain't good. I know that. So we can talk about John Mateer. We can talk about these receivers, but getting guys covered is my biggest concern for Auburn in this game.
Winning one-on-ones will be a challenge for them in the back end. Like, I think their secondary is a bit gettable. I think there were a few examples last week, especially against some RPOs, in which there were some eye violations created that left corners on islands against players that don't need to have islands against. And that, I think, is a concern. I also, at this point, like, I don't know how you feel, Cole. Like, I am not overly optimistic about Auburn's long-term pass rush. I think they can get home. I think Kieran Crawford's got some juice for sure. Honestly, I don't think Kendrick Falk's ever going to be a twitched up double-digit 12-sack guy. I don't see him as that. Like, I think he's a solid big piece, long piece that's production probably will never be outrageous. You know, his numbers are not going to necessarily blow you away in the pass rush standpoint. So I think that I
do think they have one up-and-comer that can help them this year, potentially.
What number?
41, Jared Smith.
Okay.
He got some heavy hands for a freshman. I think he can be – and now he's not going to be your super twitchy edge, bend the corner guy. But I think they can move him in different places. I think he can help be a disruptor in pass pro and against the run. But you're not leaning on a freshman 35 snaps a game. And
I'll tell you one other thing that concerned me a bit in watching some of the tape yesterday. I think they're going to have trouble with speed off the right side. Like, I looked at Ball State tape or whatnot, and a couple snaps last week. Like, I think the right side in protection against speed would be something I would be concerned about.
We'll pay attention to it. We'll continue talking about it, continue discussing it. Stay on hold. We'll get to you when we come back next right here on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. If you missed John Summerall, Trent Dilfer, Dave Pash, podcast available at jocksfm.com, apps in your app store. Dilfer, Dave Pash, podcast available at jocksfm.com, apps in your app store, iPhone, Android. Download that for free. 800-239-90. Get in. Ian in Hazel Green. Paid in. Ian in Hazel Green. Patient during the break wants to discuss Alabama. Welcome in, Ian. How you doing?
How you doing? Kind of geeking out right now. Called Paul a couple months ago. Happy to talk to you all, Greg. I saw you first time I ever saw you play. I just got back from Iraq, my first tour and all that stuff. And
thank you for your service.
Yeah, appreciate your service, brother.
Been a Bama fan for a long time throughout all the hard years, good years. You know, the entitlement, all that stuff. But so FSU, a lack of intensity. Louisiana Monroe, I told a couple friends and all this stuff. I saw the first quarter to second quarter. I still saw missed tackles and all that stuff against Louisiana Monroe. Wisconsin, I still barely, but it seems getting a little better. Is this off week going to help us? Like, I just, I'm not saying, no, our team's going to. Yes, I went through the Saban years, but I've been through some hard years as well, and I just, I want us to have some sort of intensity, and I don't know games or what, but my question was, have y'all noticed an improvement in that?
I don't think there's any doubt. I think we talked in game one, Jeremy Bernard, Parker Brailsford. I think Cuevas has been a guy that has really come on this year and helped them. And then, Greg, I think you look on the defensive line, I think 22, 23 have given you good intensity. You're going to get Tim Keenan back, so that's going to help.
Yes.
I think
in many ways, like even psychologically having him back will be big.
I think Deontay Lawson didn't have that intensity week one. I think he's had it in the other two games, so that's come along a little bit. So I absolutely think that it's picking up. You're getting some younger guys that are getting opportunities at wide receiver, running back. You've seen it from them. Hell, if you want intensity, look when the second and third teamers came in against La Monroe on defense. Those guys were flying around. I mean, he had one guy get ejected because he took a shot on a guy. I mean, they were playing. So I think it's improved, and it's not something that's a major concern of mine moving forward.
Like we talked about for a while, like I've tried to go over that Florida State game a million times to try to understand how it happened, why it happened, etc. Few takeaways in that game. One, Florida State's good. I know people don't want to acknowledge that. Florida State's a good football team, and they're well coached. Mike Norvell's a good coach. They had a good plan, and they made plays. Like defense couldn't get off the field, they made plays. I do think that weather was a factor. I think that heat and humidity is not something that's easy to prepare for, especially when you're a morning practice team. There's a lot of benefits towards practicing in the morning. A lot. I think benefits actually outweigh the costs. But the first game's at 3:30, and you have a rainstorm and it doesn't let up temperature-wise, the level of discomfort that you're feeling on the field is on a whole nother level than what you've experienced up to that point. I think that's a reality. I also think that the absence of some significant playmakers in that game was felt. Keenan being one of them, Jam Miller being another. It's not excuses. It's just sometimes you get got. And I think it was demoralizing. But I also think it served as a wake-up call. And the team's been great since. And that's all you can do is not the disappointment, but learning from the disappointment, not allowing it to happen again. So I think it's been great for him, to be honest with you.
Appreciate the call. Your CBD store can be great for you. If it's arthritis, anxiety for you or your pet, your CBD store can help. Maybe you need better focus throughout the course of the day. You need more energy throughout the course of the day. They have products that can help you with that. Weight loss, the Trim by SunMed. On the shelves now at the largest brick-and-mortar CBD retailer in the world. Your CBD store, first company to SDA-certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp seal on those products. That's why they meet and achieve a certain set of standards. They're open. Their product news about some other places. Your CBD store has 3 locations to help you today. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver, just off 459. Your CBD store, where good health hits home. What do you want to see more of next from Alabama? We'll ask a question and get you a bad box score of the day next, right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. Welcome back in. Mac and Cube in the morning, Wednesday, September 17th. Jocks. JocksFM.com. Tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jock skill. Speaking of, there's a reason Auburn Athletics hand-selected Andrews Sports Medicine's Dr. Benson Immelman and Charles Pitts to serve as their team physicians. They provide the highest quality sports medicine care in an effort to keep the Tigers at the highest level. If Andrews Sports Medicine choice for Auburn Athletics, there's no doubt they should be your family's number one choice for sports medicine and orthopedic care. Andrews Sports Medicine, 7 locations across central Alabama, from Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Hoover, Pelham, Trussville, offering same-day, next-day appointments for acute sports injuries. Visit AndrewSportsMedicine.com today to begin your journey of achieving victory over injury. One thing you want to see from Alabama improve moving forward, GMAC, what would it be?
Oh, I'd love to see give them a little more push in the run game. I'd like to see a little bit more of an emphasis in creating some seams in the run game. I think figuring out what they do well in the run game. You want to be a gap trap team, which I think there can be some value there. I think there can be some pin and pull. Or do you want to be more zone? Like, where do you want to live? I think that's probably the biggest point of emphasis for me heading into the Georgia game and beyond that.
Kalen DeBoer did say he expects Tim Keenan to be back for the Georgia game, as well as LT Overton to be available for the Georgia game when he spoke to the Monday Morning Quarterback Club. So that's good news for Alabama fans. Going to get to our bad box score of the day, but first, Greg, tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services.
They're a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home. They need your whole home back to move, your company headquarters, moved across the country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased and need to get to your home. So call, visit them online today for a free quote. The website's CrockerMovingService.com. That's CrockerMovingService.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Service for your next move.
All right, let's get to our bad box scores of the day.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Intentional grounding, offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here, excuse me.
That's the game.
The Indiana State
Sycamores, right?
Went down to the Indiana
Hoosiers
over the weekend, 73-0.
Okay. The rivalry game went to Indiana.
They did. They didn't stay rivalry. Not as good as we're getting one on SEC Network Saturday night, but it means a lot to a lot of people. Your passing yards for Indiana State, well, 2 quarterbacks combined to go 11 of 20, 38 yards.
Okay.
So you're probably thinking, yeah, they got it done on the ground. 31 carries for 39 yards.
Okay.
Not the best.
No, it's not. We've seen worse and heard worse.
We've seen some. Well, third down didn't go well either. 2 of 14. You throw in a 0 for 2 on fourth down, though, there. So that would be 2 of 16 on conversion downs.
Get off the field.
The best.
That's tough.
That meant 77 total yards for Indiana State versus Indiana's 680.
Whew.
How much does Indiana roll in on Illinois by this weekend?
I don't think they roll them.
Double dig.
We'll talk about that one later.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Here we
Indiana,
go.
6 of 8 on third down, 379 through the air, 301 on the ground in a dominant win.
Indiana's back, baby. Yeah.
The Langston College.
The Hughes brothers.
No.
Kangaroos.
No, they're the Tigers.
They're the Lions.
Lions.
And they just went down to the UT Rio Grande Valley.
We had them.
River Snakes.
Vipers? Ranchers?
Close. Vaqueros.
Cowboy.
Familiar with my Spanish.
Yes. Cowboys.
80-0.
Okay.
80-0.
One team had 80. The other team had 0.
80 Goose.
UT Rio Grande Valley passed for a combined 289 yards between 2 quarterbacks. They were 16 of 24. And yes, they did get it done on the ground as well. 36 carries, 462 rushing yards.
Let's go.
7 players had over 30 yards rushing in the game. 5 different players scored a rushing touchdown in the game.
Let's go.
However, Xavion Noland, no relation to Air, 5 catches, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Attaboy.
Have a day. You're probably thinking if they're scoring so much, there's got to be other possessions for the other team. Yeah. Langston combined with 3 players to go 15 of 37, passing for 120 yards.
That's not good.
No touchdowns, 3 picks. Aiden Hooper, 13 of 32, 109 through all 3 picks. I just read the box scores. I'm not trying to be mean.
How'd they do in the run game?
You're not being mean?
They ran it 29 times.
Okay.
I can't believe how mean you are.
For 59 yards.
That's not hero-like behavior.
No.
Fair.
So you're mean?
I just give you the
You're just a fact guy?
statistics. That's all.
Big fact guy?
Langston on 3rd down, 5 of 18.
That's not that bad.
Okay, reasonable.
That's really not that bad. It's just a lot of
In the
third
grand
downs.
scheme of it all, yeah, I'm with you.
I'd like to pick up
a lot of 3rd downs.
Occasionally, I'd like to pick up a 3rd down
on first or
pick
second
up a first down on first or second down.
We're waiting.
That's
situational.
We
football.
got 3 downs to get it, boys.
By God, we're using all of them because they
It's
didn't go for it on
ball
4th down one
control.
single time.
We want their defense to have heavy snap exposure. We're gonna wear them down, boys.
Octavio Resendiz.
I thought you were like gonna have us try to guess his last name. I'm like, how are we supposed to know this?
I'm just going to throw this out there. How many punts do you think would be a lot for a guy in a game?
11.
8.
I was gonna say like 7.
8's a lot.
Well, he punted 12 times for 420 yards.
That's a lot.
So they had some tempo with
That is a busy day for your punter.
How
by
many
the
yards?
Way.
Punting.
480. He averaged 35 a punt. I know it's not great. Okay,
I was doing the math.
I just read the box scores here. Okay, he did have 3 inside the 20. Greg.
Okay.
Coffin corner.
Trying to make fun of punters here. Calm down. All right, those are your bad box scores of the day. I'll tell you about Game Day Men's Health. Never a bad box score there. You go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Schedule your free consultation. You're going to get the free PSA test, free testosterone test. If you're feeling on edge, if you're lacking sleep, if you lack energy, Game Day Men's Health can help you now. Locker room environment, holistic approach to health and wellness, and remember, minimal upfront cost from the programs that they offer. Tell them you heard about them on Mac and Cube in the morning. You save 10% on any service they offer. All you have to do, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com.